And welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DiRienzo. Got another great show in store for you. My guest, returning yet again, Katya Grineva. Welcome, Katya.
Thank you.
And this time I get to see you after the performance rather than before. And it was wondrous to see you play, as you do every year for the last 16 years at Carnegie Hall, the Christmas show. And we'll play, I know the viewers who are familiar with your work can't wait to see and to listen to what you do. It was a wonderful show. Your performance, as usual, was flawless, and everybody loved it. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, great to have you. And so, wow, I don't know. I never know if we have how many new listeners or new viewers we have who don't know your story. And I know we've talked about your life, many times, but just briefly tell folks about yourself. You're a pianist. You play the piano, but you played at a very high level. And tell us a little bit about the type of work you do, and tell us a little bit about the show that I saw on last Tuesday. Really, right? It was last week.
Yeah. Well, I'm originally from Russia. So I studied at the school and the Moscow Conservatory with a wonderful professor, Messner. And when I was 18, I came to New York for 1 month's vacation, and I decided to stay by many different circumstances. Just was very wonderful for my life, and I always dreamed to play at Carnegie Hall like every musician does. Right. And I'm very lucky because for the last 16 years I've been playing in the main hall at Carnegie Hall. Yeah. And I do a lot of things for children. So one of the things I do every year is that I give 300 to 500 tickets for free for children. Mm-hmm. And I have a sponsor now who helps me to do it, the Pope Foundation, David Pope in Westchester. So he underwrites some of those tickets, and so we can do that because it's it's not easy.
Right, that's great. And you bring kids in, and there was lots of kids there. Right. What age usually? About high school or junior high? Or?
All kinds of. Actually, some people brought kids this year who were 6, 7 years old.
That's good.
And it was their first time at Carnegie Hall.
Sure.
And it was very, very sweet to see that.
That's wonderful.
And they loved it, too. They paid attention, and they really loved it.
Obviously, everybody loved it. It was a great show, right? And the theme was Christmas. It was like a Christmas theme, and you do something. Yeah, you do something with that. You don't just play Christmas music. I
call it classical holiday because my specialty is classical romantic repertoire. Mm-hmm. So I always want to do that. But because it's holidays, I add a few things which relate to holidays, which would be like Ave Maria or Tchaikovsky Nutcracker.
Right, you did what
and
you did.
Silent Night.
Silent Night, right.
So I think it's great to put them through the concert, throughout the concert.
They're recognizable, too. The tune might be more recognizable. Right. And great, but you did Mozart.
I did Mozart Sonata. I played Ravel, Undine, and then Satie and Bolero. Ravel.
Right, you're like a rock musician of classical.
Right.
I know, it's like crossover, right? It's amazing what you do, and you're just such a wonderful pianist. It's a very physical thing. We were talking about that before, and you were saying that you do yoga.
Yeah, I always practiced yoga, but I was telling you that this year I was. Lucky I went for New Year's to the special class, Jivamukti Yoga with Sharon Gannon and David Life.
So you did a yoga class for New Year's. While the rest of us were recovering with our hangovers, you were sublime.
Yeah, and I went also January 2nd for the yoga class. It was fantastic. I highly recommend.
All right.
But for musician, the physical is so important. For me, sometimes I play better just because I feel better. It's not because how many hours I practiced.
Sure.
Sometimes if I practice 8 hours, I actually will play worse.
Okay.
Because I'm tired.
Right. So it's good to be up and to be physically up and ready to do that. It seems like it's a I noticed, is that part of the form for a classical concert, or is there a reason where every couple of songs you sort of walk off stage and then come back?
I do it at Carnegie Hall because there's so many people and there's such high energy that I feel like after, if I play 15, 20 minutes, there has to be a little bit of silence so people can catch the breath. Right. Plus, they have latecomers. So they asked me to when can we invite people,
That allows them, right? They
So
during
I
that
thought,
break,
like,
yeah, they're bringing
and also
everybody
like I played Mozart sonata, and I thought before Ave Maria, I wanted to have a pause, and I think it was nice.
Yeah, this is very different.
Yeah, and it's different moods, and I just want people to experience it. I don't want, like, when you have a meal, you don't eat like one thing after another. You just take a pause, you talk, right? So it's the same.
Right. It's a good idea. It's great. It gives you a chance to, instead of one thing right after another. Right? So that's beautiful. And so tell me, well, we have actually one of your performances queued up, and I guess this is as good a time as any, and then we could talk about it a little bit. What are we going to hear right now or watch, actually?
Is it Mozart? Is it from Carnegie Hall?
It's from your video, the
Singapore.
original DVD.
It's the last, I'm playing Chopins Nocturne, one of my favorite pieces, and one of the things I would like to do this year is record all Chopin Nocturnes, which is actually a very big project because it's 2 discs. There are 20 of them.
What is a nocturne?
Nocturne is it's a night song, basically. And they are so poetic, they have so much feeling, and not many pianists recorded all of them, very few.
Do you follow the lives of the composers that you play? I mean, do you read books about them and obsess on their biographies?
I don't obsess, but I know facts.
Facts about their lives. That's interesting. Great. Good. We'll ask you about them. All right, Chopin's Nocturne by Katya Grineva.
can stop now. Oh.
That's beautiful. Well, Katya, as usual, beautiful. And you, as usual, made people cry. We were talking about making people cry because I saw tears when you play, and amongst the audience, they come and they're enthralled by the music you play. And you were saying that you were just recently in South Africa.
Yeah, I was in Cape Town just 1 month before Carnegie Hall.
Really? So you get to travel a lot.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about that. Where was that?
So it was a very beautiful place called Casa Labia, right on the sea. And it's Italian kind of mansion. And it's like, I say, imagine Frick collection on the sea. That's how I felt, because it had the most gorgeous art there from Venice and...
Really?
Yeah, beautiful.
The location,
beautiful.
Right? So
and
this
location.
Is a public location? Is it a theater?
Yeah, it was like, it's a public, they have concerts, not too many, I think 5 or 6 concerts a year only, but very gorgeous.
Great. And you were one of them. So is it indoors or is it outdoors or is it under
It's indoors, and it's usually like black tie event, so people, and it's very special.
Right, so you said there was 80 people there?
Yeah, it was small, it was 80 people, but when I played, there was so much feeling from the audience. It was incredible. I mean, honestly, like after each piece, I felt all this feeling, and people were crying. That I could see because they were very close to me.
Right. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, it's emotional. That's different. Carnegie Hall, say, maybe looks at, 2,000 people almost?
Yeah.
1 or 2,000 people. So it's much larger. A little bit more impersonal. You're a little farther away, right? You're up on that stage. Can you see the audience from the stage?
I could see some people, but it's
the
not
lights
like,
are in your face, right?
Yeah, and I'm very happy to see big audience. That makes me very happy.
Right.
But I feel the audience. It's more like I really feel like if they start enjoying the music, I kind of go with them, you know.
And you were mentioning that next door to the place the venue in South Africa, you saw a
Carnegie Library.
Carnegie Library. Yeah, he was all over the place. Great. So tell us a little bit about Chopin. Why did you choose him? Who is Chopin? Why should people know who he is?
Chopin is like really probably my favorite composer, and he composed mostly for the piano. He only wrote like 1 cello sonata and few songs for the voice. But really, his passion was piano, and I would call him poet of the piano because he's so expressive, and he took like nocturnes, etudes, and made them into like real form of music. Like every nocturne he composed is gorgeous.
Right. Sort of like you were
Mazurkas.
just playing beautiful romantic music, a sort of lower key.
But it's like a soul, expresses your soul.
What you would play at night, something maybe, or maybe something that would be playing in the background.
Nocturne is a night song.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So this year I would like to record all of them.
Nocturnal, that's what I was thinking. Great. How many are there?
There are 20. So you have
20.
It's like basically 2 discs.
Wow, you're going to record them and then that'll be in your repertoire.
Right. So maybe next Carnegie Hall concert, I'll play a couple of them during the concert, or 2 or 3.
All right, great.
To bring that feeling.
What was Chopin's country? Where did he play? Where did he live?
He was born in Poland in 1810, but he lived most of his life in Paris.
So you were born in Moscow.
I was born in Moscow.
Big city, right?
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about growing up in. So you came when you were 18, but you spent 18 years of your life in Russia, right? In the during a very transitional period. What was that like?
I think our life was not easy because, like, the time when I was growing up was time when there were all these food shortages.
You had to stand in line to get food.
We had to stand in line like for hours every day to get food. That's how my mom spent most of the day, like shopping.
Wow.
And me and my sister would go and help. Like we would go to I would go to one shop, my sister to another shop, my mother to another shop. But that was the difficult part. But then the artistic life was so rich. Like we always went to concerts, we always went to the best exhibitions. We was basically people lived like very immersed into the art and appreciative of art.
Right. So that it's a little different. We're stuck with Donald Trump here. President-elect. Not exactly a high cultural reach there. He has a wonderful, lovely wife and everything, but not quite Michelle Obama. So I wish there was, and I thank you for bringing culture to America. We need it desperately. So.
Oh, that's why I go and play at schools for children.
Yes.
Throughout the year, because I think there's not enough education at schools right now.
Yeah.
So I went right before Carnegie Hall. I went to Bronx and to this school called PS 23. It's really poor kids. Some of them are homeless.
What part of the Bronx? What neighborhood?
I don't know, like South Bronx or something.
Yeah,
Washington.
PS 23, yeah, Washington. Oh, Washington. Okay, on the west
That's
side.
really far.
Yeah.
But the kids were so beautiful. You should have seen them. I played there were 300 of those kids, and the eyes were so pure and just gorgeous kids, and they loved the music. They loved it. And so I'm grateful that at least some principals allow me to go and play for them.
Right, you don't know how rare that is, because it's always about testing, test prep. The idea of bringing arts is frowned upon.
Right.
So it's great that you did, but it must be a battle to get your work in there. I mean, a lot of these schools really don't want to make the time for that.
Yeah. Well, at least you find few who want to do it.
Right. And how do they have a piano there? I mean,
yeah, they have a piano.
How do you deal with do you bring one or do they have one?
No, a lot of schools have grand pianos.
But they're not very well tuned or anything like that.
They tuned it for me. It was not bad. Yeah.
It wasn't bad, okay.
Also, I play every year in Tuckahoe because my friend George Albano, he's the one who really my very big support into promoting music to children. I play every year for his school concert, and it's great.
Yeah, great.
And so he's completely committed to bringing classical music to kids.
Does the city give you any recognition for what you do? You ever meet the mayor or anything like that, or get a?
Actually, I was nominated for an award. I'm waiting for them to confirm it.
Okay.
And it's called Medal of Honor.
Yeah. That's right. What is the Medal of Honor? They mentioned that at the performance.
I'm nominated for it. I just have to.
It's a civilian award. It's not for battle. That's the other Medal of Honor.
They gave it to very famous people, 3 presidents of this country received it.
Really?
Jackie Onassis.
You're up there.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali and Katya, Grineva.
But I have to wait for confirmation. If it happens, I'll receive it this May. But it's for people who do selfless act, kind of.
Oh, you do selfless acts. See, we have a person, forget about the piano playing, she does selfless acts. That's what's most important. It's amazing. It's so wonderful.
I think it's very important to do it.
Yeah. Great.
In this life.
Right, it is.
Right?
I'm glad you do feel that way. Right? And do you think, was that from your family upbringing or from your experience in Russia, or what has that made you sensitive to?
I think it's
things?
more from this country, actually. I think I learned it here.
Yeah.
I think in Russia, I got great education. But all the work I do for charities, it's here. I learned about it here, and I felt how important it is. And also, it's I just love to play, If I can contribute somewhere and play, and at the same time it contributes to charity. I do a lot of stuff in California for Cancer Care Point program.
Okay.
It's in San Jose. Every year I go there, and I give...
You do it for the children, for the patients in the hospital.
Yeah, and I support, I donate private concerts, and very wealthy people buy them, and the money goes to the charity.
I see.
And I do it every year, and I love doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
and
wonderful.
I created wonderful friends by doing that too.
Right. And so you do performances in unusual places. I saw some photographs. You were doing some stuff in California. It looked like you were out on beautiful locations.
It's amazing mansions.
Yeah.
I played for John Chambers last year. He invited me to do a private concert at his home, and it's because he heard me at the charity concert.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You get to meet all these people in the California scene right there. Very good.
So I go there at least once, or now twice a year.
Very good. Did you have? Where did you grow up in the United States when you came here when you were 18?
I always was in New York.
New York City.
I met a wonderful family, and I kind of was adopted by them.
Right.
So I lived with them
you're
for
New York
5
City
years.
Kid. You know New York,
Yeah.
right? Then you ride the subways and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. You were mentioning the
Q train.
Q train is now actually useful to people.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm in Carnegie Hall in 10 minutes. I can't believe that.
Yeah, see, Mayor de Blasio, here's your
happy.
spokesperson here. He's very happy for what you did. Very good. Tell us more. Let's see some of the other things you played. The other night it was wonderful. Mozart. What is we all seen Amadeus, right? What a character he was, right? He was a rock star of his time in a way, right?
Well, Mozart is a genius.
Yeah.
He was completely a genius. He composed his first opera at 5 years old. And also,
him or his sister?
Yeah.
I thought there's some issue there.
Really, I don't know. But also he had this ability to completely hear the music. He would hear the whole symphony.
Yes.
And then he would just sit down and write it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like,
amazing.
It is amazing.
That's,
And his music is so like, it's genius, but it's uplifting too. When you listen to it, like,
yeah.
it makes you happy.
Right, right.
Right?
He's very energetic and
Yeah.
exciting, and he seems to really have the melodies he comes up with and the different things are grab your attention. It's
Yeah.
not like people think of staid classical music. This isn't that at all. This is beautiful. You interpret music, and I'm curious why. Is classical music? It seems to be holding up. You're like in the forefront of bringing classical music back, bringing it to young people, and getting them involved in it, so that there was a time when. What anybody bought a record, it was like Caruso or
Right.
it was
Yeah.
like classical music, it was
Right.
symphonic music,
Right.
right? And we sort of lost that, in the 30s and 40s, it became modern pop music and things like that. But people don't know what they're missing. Classical music is wonderful music.
It is. That's why I really take a lot of time to create a program like for my concerts, because I want people to enjoy every piece, and every piece when I place it has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put a lot of things which people can relate to,
Yeah.
but then I would always put something which they probably never heard before or they might not be familiar with, so they feel like they're learning something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. So you like to teach. You're such a natural-born teacher. Did you ever think of being a teacher?
I travel
point?
too much, but
Yeah.
I give master classes when I travel,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe eventually,
Yeah.
if I stop traveling as much, I can teach.
Right. So tell me about how you pick a piano.
Piano, I don't pick. I just have to play whatever they give me.
All
At
right.
Carnegie Hall, there are 2 pianos I choose from. So
see.
I'm lucky, I can choose.
Mm-hmm.
But most places, I don't have a choice. I have to adjust. So it's
Yeah.
very important for me to have at least like one day before to go and play the instrument.
Is
play
every
it.
piano a little different?
Yeah.
They all sound. They're
Yeah.
all, even if they're the same model, same size, same.
Oh, yeah, they're all
everything,
different.
They're all different.
Yeah.
They're tuned a little differently.
Yeah.
The weather has a lot to do
And
with it.
the different feel and the touch, and the
Mhm.
sound.
Right.
That's the hard part, actually.
The feel.
Yeah, no, for musician to adjust. Like if the cellist or violinist, they just take the violin and they have to adjust to acoustics. But
Mhm.
I have to like adjust to everything.
It's mechanical. A
Yeah.
piano is a huge
Yeah.
mechanical machine. I mean, it's got a lot of moving parts. 88 keys. I mean, I can't imagine how many thousands of moving parts are in a piano.
Right.
Right, and especially a big one like that, as big as a car, right? What is it? The bigger the piano, I mean, what's the difference between a stand-up player piano in a corner of a house and a giant concert grand? I mean, what's the difference between them?
Well, the longer the strings are, the more the sound you're going to get out.
Mm-hmm. So
It's amazing the difference. Yeah.
right. You
Yeah,
can
I
really
could
sound.
tell the difference just from a small baby grand to a big baby grand,
Mhm.
and then to concert grand.
Right. Do piano manufacturers vie for your attention? Do you get come to ours? No, see our piano.
Sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They all wanted you to play theirs and to do that. Would you ever think of well, how many piano? I mean, there's Steinway, New York, and what else? Is there anything else?
Well, there's Börsendorfer, that's a great instrument. But
Mhm.
Steinway, Yamaha is very famous. But I mean, my preference is a Steinway.
Right. Now, I've had musicians here on the show who've talked about, they played their like 300-year-old cello and their 250-year-old violin. Does it matter? I mean, with pianos the same way? Do you have like an ancient 19th century piano made by
I have at home 1906 Steinway.
Okay.
And it's the most amazing piano. It's actually better than most pianos I ever play.
I see.
And I'm now making recordings on that piano. I'm planning to record the nocturnes on that piano because the sound is incredible.
Do you create a recording studio in your home?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
great.
when my
And the
apartment.
engineers come and
Yeah.
set it up and everything? Oh, that's great. And tell me how you prepare to I have so many questions. I can go on and on. You can throw in anything you think I'm missing, because I might go off on all my crazy things. But I'm fascinated by how it is that you reach this level of perfection. Practice, is it what practice and more practice? 98% perspiration, 2% inspiration. Is that
I think it's important. I mean, yeah, of course you have to practice.
Mm.
But for me, it's like I need to have other experiences in life and I grow. I think everybody finds them. somehow, you know.
Right, it was the life
Traveling
experiences.
or traveling.
They give you the inspiration.
Yeah.
Well, what's your muse? Do you have a muse? You ever think of that, like something that gives you creative ideas? Something in your life?
I think I love nature.
Yeah, nature.
I love nature and animals. That's why I love going to Africa.
Uh-huh.
Because when I perform in Africa, very often I have a chance to go and see like lions or giraffes. I love it.
I see. And that gives you some ideas. And
it's just I love nature. Like I relax, and
Right.
and my creativity like opens up.
I see. Great. So nature's the place. So
even in New York, like when the weather is good, every day I go to the river and take a walk and look at the water.
Okay.
Or Central Park. Yeah.
So you get that feeling. New York is an interesting location. Once you get a view of it above the buildings, you can see how beautiful the location is. Naturally beautiful it is. Unusual, and a big, huge water courses and
like
rivers.
Walking around reservoir is great.
Oh, the reservoir in Central Park,
Yeah.
right? Great.
Yeah.
You get some, and of course, there's so many things. There's museums, and there's the Bronx Zoo, and all kinds of things like that, right? So nature, right? And so would you see? I could see you like. I actually could picture you playing in a forested location in the trees. Maybe with a tent overhead or something like that.
I do. Like I go every year to Omega Institute. It's in Rhinebeck. For the last 15 years, I've gone every year.
Rhinebeck, New York.
And I love it because they don't have great piano because it's just a small baby grand. It's decent. I can make music on it.
Right.
But what I love is that it's in the woods. And when I play, I hear the birds.
Okay.
And sometimes I would wake up at 5 a.m. and I would just go and practice in the theater. They would leave it open for me.
Oh, great.
And it's like, it's so sweet. I love it.
All right, we have just a few seconds left. Let's play the last piece. Go for it now. We can fit it in. And so we can come back. Oh, we might not make it out.